This is a 1970 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser built in Lansing, Michigan, June of 1970. We're going to take a walk around the car and I'm going to explain some things to you about the car. It had a repaint, probably in the 80s I would guess. Underneath is the original paint. Paint color is aspen green. As we walk around this car, you'll notice that there's no wheel rot or any rot around the wheel wells on this vehicle. There is the typical GM A-body lower fender well rust at the bottoms of the fenders. They'll need some patch panels. The rockers on this car are immaculate. If you look all the way down, no rust. If you sight down the side of the car, it's very straight. On the rear wheel well, also no rust, no bubbling around the wheel well, around the trimmer at all. There is a tiny bit of bubbling down at the lower rear quarter, which is easily accessible from the other side. The rear bumper does have some rust, just surface rust, and where the chrome's peeled off, it'll basically just need a re-chrome. At the bottom of the tailgate, there is some rust through, which is very typical. When I got this car 7 years ago, that was one of the first things I did, was to pull all of the pine needles and leaves out of the tailgate. And that's how this rusted out here. Easy fix. This car has the optional roof rack, which is in nice condition. This bubbling that you see here is from the seams where they welded the roof onto the body. At every seam on this car they used lead and leaded these seams. This is not rust of any kind. Also at the top, there's a seam there. They leaded it at the factory. Passenger side wheel wells also no rust of any kind. Spare tire area is clean. Underneath the bottom of it, there's just a tiny bit of rot right there. Usually these are totally gone on these cars. Once again, rocker panels on the passenger side are also very clean. Lower front fender area, we'll need a patch panel. Just a tiny bit at the bottom. The wheel well itself has no rust or rot. Hood is straight and clean. These cars, all of these cars, the Cutlasses, the Vista Cruisers, Chevelles, all of them have issues with rust at the bottom of the window. Water would collect underneath the stainless steel panel, and this car does have a little rust showing through here. The transverse Vista window does have some issues. The window channel around the sides and the bottom area is going to need a rebuild. The upper part of the channel is perfect. I've had this trim off and I've seen it myself. But the bottom area around the sides and the bottom here will need to be rebuilt. I have a crack in the upper Vista window here. We'll need a new panel. It's just on the upper portion of the laminated glass. On the driver's side, both pieces of glass are fine. And also on the driver's side of the transverse window, the channel will need to be rebuilt on the side and along the bottom here. As I said, the upper portion is fine. Back to the driver's side Vista glass, there are some issues with the window channel up top. And as you go down to the bottom corner, you'll need to make some repairs here. And going back to the passenger side, issue here at the bottom corner. Also along the bottom edge, water used to sit in this channel because it tips back towards the car. And the other problem with this vehicle is that whoever owned it before I did siliconed every single window with silicone sealant, and that held water in there, plus the acid from the silicone rotted out all kinds of little areas along these window channels, as I've shown. Back around to the driver's side, also you can see here some of the silicone still in place, and at the bottom of this channel there may be some repair needed.